The Last Faith is a game that on launch, I was incredibly excited to check it out. It's a Metroidvania with a stunning gothic visual style, and honestly, what we received, it was disappointing, and namely that was from a performance standpoint, because that frame rate, it was just tanking, making it more difficult than it should be. And I should add here, the game was brutal to begin with. Well, I've been keeping on top of it. I did check out a patch a few months back, hoping for a win, and that one actually managed to make things worse. But now I'm thinking third time lucky. Has the new patch that just went live made The Last Faith a worthy addition to the library? And honestly, I'm gonna say upfront, not quite, but we are definitely getting there. Now, if you enjoy this video, subscribe. It's the easiest way to support the channel. I seriously do appreciate it. If you also want to see the history, I guess, of The Last Faith on Switch as well, check out my previous 2 videos in the pinned comments. So right off the bat, I'm going to put it out there. Performance, much better. If you go back to my last 2 videos, and I will show a clip here on screen now, we're dropping as low as 20 now. Yes, there's still areas with frame rated drops, namely in areas where, we're seeing an overwhelming number of enemies, or it's simply a large area. But it appears to be now stopping at around 30 and often kind of sitting between the 40 to 50 mark. Now the game is targeting 60, definitely struggling for sure, but it feels a huge amount more playable. That is a massive positive. And in fact, if you actually watch my first 2 videos, I was retiring within the opening hour. It just wasn't enjoyable, but now I've sunk in 4 to 5 hours of gameplay. I faced more than a few brutal bosses. I upgraded my character. I unlocked a few new moves. Got a wall jump, for example. I even discovered a decent amount of the map. For me, this increase in frame rate makes such a big difference because now I really do believe the game feels very much playable. Another massive positive for the game as well is they've actually managed to shorten the load times as you transition between the different rooms in this world. One thing I did find anywhere from I'd say up to about 8 to 10 seconds, and now they are considerably quicker, and that makes the game a whole lot more enjoyable because in this world, honestly, there's a lot of transitioning, a lot of ladders left and right, just rooms basically everywhere, so you were seeing that black screen a lot, and now I wouldn't say it's gone, and it's still noticeable if you compare it to other platforms such as the PS5, but of course there is going to be a difference there. This version of the game on the Switch, it feels a whole lot more smoother, and that transition between the rooms definitely doesn't, I guess, outstay its welcome anymore, and for me, it just felt very natural in comparison to any other games in the genre, so that's great to see. So yeah, 2 things improved. The big ones definitely performance and the different load times between locations. So yeah, I'm going to say it's easy to see now why the game has got its fan base, and I'm actually really getting into it. This is somewhere, I guess, near the game that I did expect at launch. But that is the positive. What are the new problems? And it's definitely a few weird ones, which will be a complete pain in your ass, honestly. So first of all, health packs and bullets. The gun's your secondary weapon, you find bullets for that. But what you can do is you can find expansions. Basically, these items will expand how many bullets or health packs you can hold. But currently there is a bug and the game's actually locking my health packs at 7 and my bullets at 10. I should be able to go way beyond this. It's one of the ways your character grows. I want, 10, 12, 15 health packs, let's say, because 7 right now just isn't cutting it. But the bug, it locks me out. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely impacting that difficulty because, the game expects you to be able to, I guess, recover more frequently, and that's just not the case in this current build. Perhaps more infuriating, however, is the fact that the triggers on the controller now appear to stop working. These triggers, they implement your items and your special attack during combat. Now, I've noticed it occurs constantly. So first of all, I tried to remap the controller when I jumped in, and yeah, that stopped them working entirely. I had to reset the controls to default. Another time, I decided to change the movement from D-pad to left joystick. Why did I do that? Because you actually use directions to change your weapon and items in the lower left of the screen, and using the left stick is an absolute pain as you tend to change multiple instead of the intended. But guess what? The trigger stopped working again, and yeah, it's just going to be constant. Just be warned of that, and the only fix actually appears to be to head to settings and click reset to default on the controls. Even if you haven't changed anything, you need to do that. My experience was it was happening in the worst moments during boss fights or particularly nasty enemies, and that move not working can be the difference between, life and death. You'll see me on screen right now, this dude with a cannon. I'm just kind of standing there. I was actually trying to use my heavy attack, so I was lucky, managed to escape, because in this game, if you do die, you're going to lose all your currency, and then you have to battle back to that location. See, it's definitely not a fun problem to face, because both of these attacks are actually going to be using up either a count of your item, or it's going to be using up some of your stamina meter, so you don't really want to be testing if it works or not, so it's really frustrating in that sense. My final issues then, I guess more minor, but I seem to be having hard crashes. Actually, it's probably not minor, is it? Let's face it, but I've had 4 in 4 hours. It always happens when you transition between rooms. And then the audio, this is minor, but an annoyance. It cuts off between rooms, just a little jarring. It kind of like drops in, drops out kind of frequently. So yeah, so much is improved basically, but it seems we fixed one thing, a major one, admittedly, frame rate, but we've now introduced new issues that are absolutely frustrating. That bullet and health pack limit not increasing as they should, the occasional hard crash, and triggers which are absolutely necessary that just appear to stop working. I'm around a third of the way through the game at this point, so there could also be more problems. So if you faced anything, let me know in the comments. I'm seeing reports of the double jump playing up, for example. I cannot confirm that. It also seems it's been a pain for those with existing save files. My real big question right now, though, is they are advertising a physical release of the game, but which build is going to be on that release? It's dropping, July 5th, and we seem to have 3 builds out there so far. 2 with poor frame rates, and then this new one which has mechanics that are essentially broken. Hopefully they can get a quick fix out for these issues, but I'm questioning now if they have time to at least get it on cartridge. I don't personally know how Switch cartridge production occurs, but what's the lead time? Are they already being pressed at this point? And what build do they intend to include? I'm hoping that they can give us an answer over on X, Twitter, because they're clearly working hard on the game, and I do imagine it's a smaller team, but my only concern is they've not been the most responsive when it comes to responding, to the audience. I see plenty of people asking about updates, patches, and so on, and they just seem to sit there with no response. So yeah, here's hoping for good news, but I'm definitely not holding my breath. So yeah, so that's the latest update on The Last Faith, and I still can't recommend it on Switch. We've made good progress with the patch, admittedly, but somehow managed to introduce a whole lot of new problems at the same time. Going to be keeping on checking in with this one. I've been waiting for this game. I am actually quite confident they will get there as well, but I fear it's going to be too little, too late, as the frustration in the fan base, it is really evident now if you start looking into the different forums and different conversations. But yeah, I guess that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks, everyone.